Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so if you're a warehouse club shopper, you absolutely know the thrill of scoring a massive bulk deal. But, what happens when that deal is a total bust and your receipt is just nowhere to be found? The most common mistake people make is assuming their money is just gone forever. But today, we're diving right into the source material to reveal exactly how you can handle receiptless returns at BJ's like a total pro. So picture this for a second. You've just realized that expensive item you bought needs to go back, but your physical receipt is long gone. Cue the panic, right? We so often think that without that tiny slip of paper, our consumer rights just vanish into thin air, and that all warehouse clubs have these identical, rigid, completely unforgiving rules. But as the actual policies reveal, that panic, it's usually completely unnecessary. Okay, let's dive right into this. The absolute most crucial takeaway here is that throwing away your receipt doesn't automatically mean a denied return. It just doesn't. Because BJ's operates on a membership model. Practically every single transaction you make is tied to your unique member ID. This means their customer service desk actually handles receiptless returns using a digital membership lookup system. Basically, they have the data. You just need to know exactly how to ask them to access it. But hey, before you pack up your car, let's look at the ticking clock. BJ's actually offers an incredibly generous baseline return window of 365 days for most general merchandise. I mean, that is a full year. However, do not get caught off guard by the exceptions. Things like electronics, major appliances, and jewelry, those have a strict 90-day window. And if you bought a cell phone, you've only got 14 days. So knowing exactly which category your item falls into is really step one of managing your expectations before you even step foot in a store. So, what's the best step-by-step action plan based on their policies? Well, first, gather any digital proof you have. This could be a credit card statement, an order confirmation email, or even just your app history. Second, keep the original packaging and make sure the item is in saleable condition. Third, and guys, this is a fantastic insider tip right here. Visit the exact BJ's club where you originally bought it. Local databases and familiar managers make the whole lookup process so much smoother. And fourth, always bring a valid photo ID. When you're approaching that member services desk, confidence and clear communication are absolutely key. Try using a really clear phrase, something like, "Hi, I don't have my physical receipt, but can we look this up using my membership card and credit card?" Doing this shows you actually know the system and you're prepared to help them find your transaction quickly rather than just kind of dumping an item on the counter and expecting them to do all the detective work. And this brilliantly illustrates what happens next. Because from there, you're really looking at two possible outcomes. The ideal scenario is the member database lookup. If they find your transaction, boom, you get a full refund to your original payment method. Perfect. But if they can't find it, maybe it's older than their local system retains, you are now in the territory of a manager discretionary return. This is exactly where that photo ID comes into play. If it gets approved, you won't get cash back, you'll have to settle for store credit, and it's going to be for the lowest current selling price of that item. Now, what if the item was a gift? Well, if you don't have a physical receipt for a gift, the rules do shift slightly. In these cases, you should definitely expect a store credit refund. Why, you ask? It's actually a really smart privacy and logistics safeguard. The system restricts these transactions to a physical store credit to make sure they don't accidentally reverse the charge right back to the original buyer's credit card, which, let's be honest, would definitely ruin the surprise and leave you completely empty-handed. We also absolutely need to look at the definitive no-go checklist to prevent you from making a totally wasted trip to the store. For instance, you cannot return trading cards like Pokemon or sports cards, and that's to prevent pack tampering. Tobacco and alcohol, those are out due to state laws. Opened media, things like video games or software, are non-returnable to stop piracy. Anything fueled, like fireworks or gas lawnmowers, are out for safety reasons. And opened massage chairs? Yeah, that's also a hard no. Basically, if your item falls into one of these categories, honestly, a receipt wouldn't even save you anyway. There are also some really strict rules for specific types of buyers. Say you run a business and make a B2B bulk purchase. Specifically, that means 10 or more of the same item totaling over $1,000. That sale is generally final. You only get a tiny 15-day window for defective goods. On the other end of the spectrum, if you're utilizing government assistance like SNAP or ABT for groceries, federal law dictates that returns require an exact exchange for the same food item or a direct refund back to the EBT card within 90 days. You can literally never get cash back for these transactions. Okay, here is a super surprising fact that could honestly save you a massive headache down the line. High-value warranty items, think boats, awnings, and those large generators, are what BJ's refers to as service center only. I mean, just imagine hauling a massive, heavy generator all the way back to the club, only to be turned away right at the door. No way. For these specific high-ticket items, you actually bypass BJ's entirely, and you must deal directly with the manufacturer's warranty process. Now, what's really interesting about this next point is how we can completely future-proof ourselves against this whole lost receipt problem. The BJ's mobile app has a feature called Express Pay. It basically lets you scan items as you shop and pay right on your phone. And the brilliant part, it automatically creates a permanent digital receipt that gets stored right in the cloud. If you use this, you will literally never lose a receipt again, and you completely bypass any of those register database lookup limits. It's a real game changer. Let's move on to a fantastic pro tip for you frequent shoppers out there. If you're buying BJ's exclusive, proprietary store brands, we're talking labels like Berkeley Jensen or Wellesley Farms, the return process is typically a much smoother experience. See, BJ's offers a highly generous, no questions asked satisfaction guarantee on these specific lines just to build consumer trust. So if you bring back a house brand item without a receipt, you are far more likely to get a swift, full refund to store credit with minimal administrative friction. As we start to wrap up the tactical advice here, it's really vital to remember that corporate terms and conditions, well, they update over time. So always make sure to verify the most current version of BJ's return policy either online or at your local club. Also, approaching returns practically and ethically, maintaining the original packaging, being totally transparent about why an item is going back, and just being polite to the staff, it ensures a smoother process for you, and it helps these generous return policies continue existing for the rest of us. So, what does this all mean? The absolute crucial point here is that a lost receipt is definitely not the end of the line, as long as you understand the system. We've covered the digital lookup, the critical timelines, those hard exceptions, and of course, the beauty of Express Pay. So, next time you shop, how will you use these insider tips to future-proof your purchases? Will you switch to scanning on your phone, or maybe just start saving those digital credit card statements? The system is designed to work for you, if you know how to use it. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.